A very good evening and welcome. This is Newsfirst Weekend Primetime News here on MTVSports and Shakti TV. I'm Ramesh Bandara. Let's start off with a look at your headlines.
India pledges support to the entire development process of Sri Lanka. Jana Asana appointed ambassador prior to the completion of the Geneva Gate investigations. JP's latest attempts against corruption. Sirsa initiates world's first reality program to create people-friendly public representatives. Former Maldives President Nasheed jailed for 13 years. Speaking exclusively to Newsfirst, Nasheed's wife says he was restricted access to his lawyers before the trial. Pope Francis hints at early abdication.
On to our top story tonight. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is on a two-day official visit to Sri Lanka, commenced day 2 of his visit by paying homage to sacred religious sites in the country this morning.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi is the first Indian Prime Minister to visit Sri Lanka in 28 years. In all his addresses made during official ceremonies held yesterday, Modi stressed on the importance of Buddhism and its effects for the betterment of society. Thereby, Indian Prime Minister Modi commenced day 2 of his visit to the island nation by paying homage to the Jayashree Mahabodhi in Anuradhapura this morning. A group including President Maithripala Sirisena and other public representatives were also present for the occasion. Athamastana Adipati, Venerable Dr. Pallegama Srinivasa Thero and the Mahasangha invoked blessings on the head of states at the premises of the Jayashree Mahabodhi. Prime Minister Modi then paid homage to the Ruwan Valley Mahasaya despite the bad weather experienced in the area. The two leaders who arrived at the Ruwan Valley Mahasaya received the blessings of his chief incumbent, Venerable Pallegama Ratanathera.
Prime Minister Modi made history once again to becoming the first Indian head of state to tour the northern province in Sri Lanka. He is also only the second foreign head of state to visit the north, the first being British Premier David Cameron.
A train service which renewed ties between the north and south of the country took another step forward under the auspices of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. A 63-kilometer rail track from Thalemanna to Madu with 6 railway stations and 3 sub-railway stations on its route were constructed with funds from India, amounting to $149.7 million. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also inspected the Jaffna Public Library today.
I am pleased to be the first Indian Prime Minister to have visited the North. Friendship, coexistence and commitment is essential in order to progress in the development of a country. India will assist Sri Lanka in all of its development programs. You can trust me because I trust you.
ये दोस्ती सदियों पुरानी है और सदियों तक चलने वाली दोस्ती है. इसको हम निभाते रहेंगे. मैं फिर एक बार आप सबका बहुत-बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूं।
13th Amendment can never be the final solution, sir. The current 13th Amendment framework and the existing Sri Lankan constitutional architecture that had evolved since the first Republican Constitution of 1972 without the consent and participation of the Tamils of north and east of our country poses formidable challenges and hindrances in realizing the quantum of devolution required to fulfill the needs and aspirations of the Tamil-speaking people of the north and east of Sri Lanka. We need the services of a guarantor, and it is our considered view that the government of India, under your stewardship, is best suited for this role. The initiated 13th Amendment has not brought the required and expected evolutions to the north and east. Even today, parallel administrative structures exist, one directed by the centre and the other by the province, despite the appointment of an amiable government.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi then visited the newly constructed housing project in Ilavali area in the presence of a large public gathering. These houses were constructed with funds from India for those who were displaced by the conflict.
SPD. Although he has visited many countries around the world, Prime Minister Modi says that the bond between India and the people of Sri Lanka is incomparable with any other nation. Issuing a communique, the presidential media unit said that Prime Minister Modi made this statement at a state banquet hosted by President Maithripala Sirisena last night in honour of the visiting Premier.
Prime Minister had stated that he is thankful to the President and people of Sri Lanka for the warm welcome and hospitality that he has received. Presidential media unit's communique reads that the Indian Premier had assured his utmost commitment to strengthen the friendship, mutual understanding and trust between the two countries. A group including Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, Opposition Leader Nima Siripala de Silva were present for the occasion.
Meanwhile, a special tea reception was also hosted for the visiting Indian Prime Minister in Parliament yesterday.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi engaged in a cordial discussion with members of the government and the opposition.
On to our developing story tonight. The JVP charges that the appointment of Shenukha Seniviratne, Sri Lanka's former permanent representative in Geneva and former secretary to the Ministry of External Affairs, as the Sri Lankan ambassador to Thailand is immoral. The JVP points out that allegations have been made against Shenukha Seniviratne from the audit reports conducted over the alleged irregularities that have said to be taken place with regard to the refurbishment of the official residence of the permanent representative in Geneva in the year 2009.
Information over irregularities pertaining to the refurbishment of the official residence of the permanent representative in Geneva came to the limelight after Tamara Kuninaigam, the successor to Shenukha Seniviratne, made a revelation. With the permission of the then Secretary to the Ministry of Finance, P.B. Jayasundara, Tamara Kuninaigam had requested for an audit investigation to be conducted over the refurbishment of the official residence of the permanent representative in Geneva. Thereby, the audit that was performed had pointed out that the refurbishment of the residence was handed over to a company affiliated with the LTTE without following the proper tender procedure. However, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs Ajit P. Parira notes that Shenukha Seniviratne had handed over the contract pertaining to the refurbishment of the residence to a company affiliated with the LTTE, not aware of the company's affiliations. As the department-level investigation is still continuing, Deputy Minister Ajit P. Parira questions as to how things done without being aware can be considered as wrongdoings. Speaking further, Deputy Minister Ajit P. Parira said that the individual who undertook the contract was one that was affiliated with the LTTE. However, the then Minister of External Affairs, Professor G.L. Pires, issuing a communique to the media, said that there was no information connecting to the individuals who undertook the contract to the LTTE.
There is no point in merely speaking of good governance if it is not proven through action. There were serious allegations made against Niviratna. One was pertaining to handing over the refurnishment contract of the official residence to an LTT-affiliated individual. Second is that the government auditors themselves had said that there had been financial malpractices pertaining to it. In Parliament, the United National Party too criticised it. The former Secretary to the External Affairs Jana Asana, who is charged with serious financial malpractices, has been appointed as the Sri Lankan ambassador to Thailand. Geneva is granting a contract to renovate the embassy in Geneva to an LTTE member, patriotism or treason. Who awarded this contract? Who approved this transaction? Who spent money on this? As soon as the President was informed of this, he called on the Treasury Secretary and commissioned an audit which was carried out by 4 officials. Where is the audit report? Why has it not been tabled in Parliament? Why is it not being presented in Parliament? Who is hiding this audit report? It has been 2 years. This is being paid for with money that we in the Supreme Council raise our hands and grant approval for. Who is this going to? An LTT organization. Who is accountable for this? Table the PB Jayasundara report. It mentions a 17 million rupee refurbishment in Geneva. This contract is given to someone. He has affiliations to the LTTE. This was once again confirmed by Minister Vimal Weerawangsa. I request that this report be tabled in Parliament. The near future course of action in this regard and those involved will be exposed. There are allegations over fraud and corruption. If there was any form of moral sense, she should have not been given such an appointment until the investigation is complete.
මේ අලුත් ආණ්ඩුව පත් කරනු ලබන්නත් කලින් ලංකාවේ සමාජයේ ආందోලනයට
There were some incidents that caused controversy in Sri Lankan society even before this new government was elected. That is the issue surrounding the refurbishment of the official residence of the permanent representative in Geneva and individuals connected to it. The second to the Auditor General has been sent. This process began under the instructions of the head of the Finance Ministry, Dr. P.B. Jayasundara. I believe the second to the Auditor General took a 6-member strong senior team to Geneva and later released a report. The name of Shenukasi Niviratna was being mentioned in the issues of that audit report and the official residence. Has the audit report been looked into? What is the assumption?
නිවාසය පිළිබඳව ප්‍රශ්නයට. ඒ ඔඩිට් වාර්තාව ගැන හොයලා බලලාද තියෙන්නේ. ඒකේ නිගමනය මොකද්ද?
According to Dr. Dayan Jayathilaka, as the situation is already being discussed internationally, the incumbent government cannot suppress the matter.
ආණ්ඩුවේම ඔඩිට් වාර්තාවේ තිබිච්ච දේවල්
The previous government attempted to undermine its own audit report. What does the new government have to say about it? If it has been investigated and if it has been assumed that she is not guilty, why hasn't the country been made aware of it? How did that happen? This needs to be questioned. How can I look into the other things by undermining this? The government is saying that the allegations against her have not been proven and the investigations are not over. This is wrong. While in the opposition, the United National Party made allegations against her and now she is being appointed as an ambassador. This is a serious fault. Such actions cause obstructions to good governance. Good governance will collapse. It is from within the government that there are obstructions towards good governance and not from the outside.
Presidential advisor Attorney-at-Law Shiral Laktilaka questions as to on what basis the chairman of the United National Party, Malik Samaravikrama, who is also a senior advisor to the Prime Minister, took part in a meeting convened pertaining to the issuing of bonds by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka.
According to the Ministry of Policy Planning and Economic Affairs, a meeting was held on the 26th of February concerning budgetary matters. A group including the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Higher Education, Highways and Investment Promotion, the Treasury Secretary and the Governor of the Central Bank were among those present at the meeting. At this meeting, it has been decided that an additional 15 billion rupees would be required to fund the recommencement of the road projects. Speaking to Newsfirst yesterday, UNP Chairman Malik Samaravikrama confirmed that he too was present at the February 26th meeting. Samaravikrama noted that he attended the meeting in his capacity as a senior advisor to the Prime Minister. Presidential advisor Shiral Laktilaka points out that one cannot be satisfied with such an answer.
Malik Samaravikrama
is the chairman of the United National Party. That is a political position. The central bank is the state institution where the most important monetary and financial decisions of the state are made. For such decision-making meetings, the governor of the central bank and, if needed, a state minister can attend. If information has come to light that Malik Samaravikrama was seated at a meeting that is attended by the governor of the central bank, that confirms certain affiliations. Not only is Malik Samaravikrama the chairman of a political party, he is also a businessman. These business connections were also discussed during the time of the previous government. In this backdrop, we need to express our disappointment as to on what basis did Malik Samaravikrama attend this meeting and for what objectives. We see a conflict of interest here. No matter what position Malik Samaravikrama is holding, it is wrong for him to attend a meeting where financial decisions are being made, even if that position is connected to the Prime Minister. We kindly request that the connections with Malik Samaravikrama be carefully reviewed and a decision be made.
It has been 4 days since a 3-member committee was appointed by the Prime Minister to investigate allegations of insider trading in a recent bond issue of the central bank. Member of the committee, Attorney at Law Mahesh Kalugampitiya, said that the committee had convened recently and will meet again on Monday. He added that after meeting at the Prime Minister's office under the auspices of the Secretary to the Prime Minister, a communique will be released to the media on the progress made.
Meanwhile, the JVP is preparing to meet with the President on Monday, along with files on politicians who wasted public funds.
Leader of the JVP, Anrukumar Dissanayake, made this statement at a public rally yesterday in Kaduruvela, Polonnaruwa.
Why was the government toppled? For democracy and freedom and against fraud and corruption. 2 days after being elected, Basil escaped. He escaped. Not only that, there is doubt also whether punishment will actually be meted out on fraud, corruption and waste. What has taken place? Today it is clear that a group of politicians and officials in the government are appearing to protect these fraudulent and corrupt persons. President Maithripala has requested us to meet him on Monday over the complaints that we had made. We will visit him with all the details and stacks of files. These are accurate information. It shows how wealth was amassed. The people have an expectation that these fraudulent persons need to be punished.
Son of senior photographer Sena Vidanagama, Sanka Vidanagama's first ever solo photojournalist exhibition was held at the National Art Gallery today as well.
The opening ceremony of the exhibition took place last evening. The exhibition has been titled as Retrospect. This photo exhibition is being held to mark 10 years of his career as a photojournalist and as a dedication to his father, Sena Vidanagamage. Nearly 200 photographs, including a picture taken in 1987 of a Navy officer attacking the Indian Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, on display at the exhibition. Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa and parliamentarian Andra Priyadarshini Yapa also attended the exhibition.
Media is a group of people who know the current political situation of the country better than I do. Because I am a bit distant with the country's political activities now. They are speaking of a national government, but nothing seems to be happening. Is there any such proposal? I don't know, because I am distant from political activities these days.
The photo exhibition will be held until 6 p.m. tomorrow.
The Sales Media Network has taken another novel step into programming in Sri Lanka with the country's first ever reality program to create people-friendly public representatives. The program has been titled Jana Asana.
Sirisa TV, which always introduces novel concepts to reality TV viewers of Sri Lanka, launched this program with the objective and responsibility of creating new leaders who listen to the hearts of the people. This new initiative was given live at the Stein Studio Complex in Wat Malana today. Thousands who applied to join this reality program to create new leaders from among the people were present to make their dreams come true. The objective of this inauguration was to register the applicants and explain the process of this novel initiative.
We are providing an opportunity to the people to move ahead with people power. We are taking big steps in this program. Please remember, no such program has ever been launched anywhere else in the world. This is a big task for us. If you two have the time and commitment like we do, we can take this program forward. This is a very big initiative. This is a national level task. This will spread internationally as well. That means this will be taken as an example by other nations. I believe that assassination of members of political parties is wrong. You as persons who are heading into politics should not assassinate those in your party. Do not brawl. Do not commit arson. Also, do not attack the members of other political parties. That is my only request. Media and politics go hand in hand. At times they owe each other, like two sides of a coin. The true objective of a journalist should be to create the foundation for a better situation. However, I believe that the objectives of a true politician and a journalist are the same. Both the objectives need to be for the creation of a better society and a better country.
The Department of Meteorology says that the possibility for rain over the country is getting low. Several areas across the country were severely affected by the heavy rains experienced over the past 24 hours.
Two houses in Kongola and Madagama located in Bibila were damaged by lightning strike. No one was inside the house at the time. However, electrical appliances were badly damaged. Meanwhile, heavy downpour in Colombo and its suburbs caused inconveniences to the general public. Six spill gates of the Senanayaka Samudra in Ingeniagala were opened today as a result of the heavy rainfall. Our correspondent said that each spill gate was opened by 2.5 feet each. Irrigation engineer of Ampara APK Tuduage cautioned the public using the Galoya to remain vigilant. The capacity of the Senanayaka Samudra is 770,000 acre-feet and currently the water capacity stands at 750,000 acre-feet. Farmers expecting to reap their paddy harvest in Matale, Anuradhapura and Polonnaruwa too have been inconvenienced by the heavy rains. Thousands of agrarian families in Alahara, Bakamona, Hiratoya, Kandalama, Devahuwa, Huruluwewa and the Mahaveli H zone have been rendered helpless. They lament that they could not reap the harvest in the past as a result of the drought and were hoping to do so this time around.
The cultivation is ready to be harvested. The new year is weeks away. We do not know what to do.
The Mudalam police says that another stash of suspected drugs were discovered from a shrimp farm owned by a drug trafficker arrested several days ago.
The raid last night resulted in the seizure of 13 kilograms and 19 grams of drugs. The police said that the suspects who were arrested at the shrimp farm in Kanamulla, located in Kadayamutta in Mundala, are residents from Hatton and Putlam.
During the past few days, the Police Narcotics Bureau carried out a massive heroin raid in Negombo. At present, the suspects are being detained and questioned by the Police Narcotics Bureau. Information has come to light that a son of one of the suspects owns a shrimp farm. However, only further investigations will reveal as to whether this is a drug ring and whether the drugs seized yesterday are in fact heroin.
A 3-month-old infant was killed in an accident in the Walekade area in Polonnaruwa. The tragic accident had taken place at around 3 last afternoon in the 6th milepost area on the Walekade Onagama road in Polonnaruwa. The accident was a result of a 3-wheeler veering off the road and falling into the Kalinga Canal. Our correspondent said that 3 women and 2 children were travelling in the 3-wheeler at the time of the accident. The 3-month-old infant was killed and 2 others who were injured were admitted to the Polonnaruwa hospital. A A development program in lieu of United National Party parliamentarian Buddhika Pathirana's birthday is taking place across the Mathura district.
This program will take place across 4 days. The first phase took place today at the Mahamantinda Piriven Vihara in Mathura. A special training and equipment were given to the preschool teachers in Mathura, Valigama and Valipitia through the Samadhi Community Development Fund. I am not engaged in politics where goods are distributed targeting the election. When the election comes, I will stop distributing goods. Others start their distribution when the elections are near. As a policy, if Parliament is dissolved tomorrow, we will stop the 2 preschool programs planned for next week. After tomorrow's program is over, persons who distribute goods during the election time are political black sheep. Meanwhile, the inauguration event for the construction of houses in the Mathura district under the 50,000 houses program by the Ministry of Housing and Samurdhi took place today in Nilmanikgama Akurasa under the auspices of MP Buddhika Pathirana.
The single translation of the book, Same Sky, Different Nights, penned by Dr. Nandasiri Jayasanthulian, was launched yesterday.
The singular translation of the book is titled as Ekahasak Radasak. The launch was held at the auditorium of the Department of National Archives and was graced by politicians, state officials and intellectuals. Dr. Nandasiri Jayasanthulian was the director of the United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs. Dr. Nandasiri is also a postgraduate in law and international relations and possessed a diploma in aerospace law from McGill University. He is a past pupil of Richmond College, Gaul.
75 years ago from today was an important day in my life. My journey began in Sri Lanka. It was my motherland that assisted me to search for details on the astounding history of humans. It was my motherland that taught me to do something better, to achieve more and achieve what many could not. Therefore, I must say that this was a special journey.
On business news tonight, the Central Bank of Sri Lanka has issued new operating instructions on the special interest scheme for senior citizens. Although it was proposed through the interim budget that a 15% interest would be given for the fixed deposits of senior citizens, several issues arose in its implementation.
According to the new operating instructions on the special interest scheme for senior citizens, all Sri Lankan citizens above 60 years of age are considered as eligible persons. Accordingly, 1-year rupee fixed deposits of up to rupees 1 million in total open in banks by eligible senior citizens on an individual basis, with effect from 16th of January 2015, have been mentioned under the new instructions. In addition, fixed deposits of up to rupees 2.5 million open prior to the 16th of January 2015 under the 12% special interest scheme to come under the new instructions. Central Bank of Sri Lanka says that an interest of 12% will be paid to such individuals. The Central Bank says that accordingly, the operating instruction dated 25th of February 2015 on this scheme were revoked.
And in sports news, the world's second longest running uninterrupted annual cricket encounter, the Battle of the Blues between Royal College Colombo and St. Thomas's College Mount Lavinia, ended with no result today. When rain stopped play today at the SSC grounds, batting in their second innings, Royal College were 19 runs for the loss of 1 wicket. The 136th Battle of the Blues entered its third day today, and batting their first innings, St. Thomas's College declared on 270 for the loss of 7 wickets. This was in response to Royal College's first innings score of 199 runs. Ravindu Kurituakku top scored for the Thomians with 95 runs, giving the Thomians a first innings lead. Hasit Samarasinghe, who came in to bat for the second innings of Royal College, was sent back to the dresser for a duck. Rain stopped play when the match was in the 8th over. Ravindu Kurituakku was adjudged the man of the match in the 136th edition of the Battle of the Blues. Picking a fight with an elephant is probably best to avoid. Even a child would know that. However, doing so was probably not the best decision this man has ever made. We leave you tonight with footage of what happens when you mess with an elephant. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Ramesh Bandara. Good night.
මේ කාත් එක දාලේ. කාත් එක දාලේ.
කිව්වා. එතන ගන්නවා. ඒ පුන්නම.
අරින්නේ. මේ මුව මේ.
ඉක්මනට එනවා.